All right, hey.
It's 5 o'clock, it's ready to go.
It is 5 o'clock. We'll go ahead and begin this meeting of the Kokomo City Board of Zoning Appeals. If you would, if you have a cell phone, if you turn that to silent, please, and then we'll have everyone stand and start with our Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, our first item on the agenda this evening is the approval of the minutes from Tuesday, December 7th, 2021 meeting.
Make a motion, we approve minutes of December 7th, 2021.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve those minutes. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? We're good. Okay. Mr. Sheehan.
Yeah, our illustrious attorney is under COVID quarantine, so he is not with us tonight. So we do have election of officers for 2022, this being the first meeting. So I'll open the floor at this time for nominations for president, please. I'll make a motion for Chuck Jansen.
Second.
Is there any other nominations? If not, I need a motion to close nominations.
Move to close nominations.
Second. All right, all in favor of Mr. Jansen signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Floor is yours, sir.
All right, thank you all. And now we need a vice president, so open the floor for nominations.
I'd like to nominate John Myers as vice chair of the Board of Zoning and Appeals.
Second.
Okay, are there any other nominations?
Move for nominations to be closed.
Second.
Okay, we do have a motion and second on the floor for John Myers as vice president. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations.
Congratulations to you.
Don't start until after 5:02 because I might be.
We're going to start 4:59.
There you go. All right, we do have a full board this evening, so I appreciate everyone being able to be here this evening. We do have 5 voting members, and it does take 3 yeses to pass a case. As Mr. Sheehan mentioned, our attorney's not here, so we'll do our best. So our first case this evening is case P01-V-22.
Yes, the petition of Bharat Patel, Kokomo Lodging Association, LLC, requested a variance of 1 foot 1.5 inch to section 3.22, maximum structure height in a 3-2 zone, and this is at 5126 Clinton Drive.
Okay, do I have a motion on this case? Yeah, well, first we'll do the motion. But you're right, I did jot that down.
I move to approve case number P01-V-22 and adopt the findings of the petitioner as those of the board and make those findings part of the record.
Second.
All right, thank you. Mr. Myers is making sure I'm being honest this time, as always. The ex parte communication, have any board members had any?
Yes.
No, sir. No,
I'm
sir.
here. Just
I've had a conversation with land developer Tom Harrell. He was telling me about this property. He was just telling me about it, and that's all it was. Appreciate it. That doesn't mean you can't vote. It just means that you've acknowledged that you've had a conversation.
Yep. All right. Thank you very much. Okay, whoever's representing this case, if you'd come forward, please state your name and address for the record. Kind of tell us what it is you're wanting to do.
Put on my handy dandy glasses here. My name is Ryan Rediger. I'm with Steppenworth and Associates, located at 7965 East 106th Street in Fishers, Indiana. Attending on behalf of Bharat Patel and Kokomo Lodging Associates. I'm here to get the variance of the 1 1/2 inch variance for the maximum structure height in C2 zone. We've gone through Planning Commission a couple weeks ago and got approval, and just wanted to be present here today to see if we can get approval for this variance.
Okay, so can you just kind of tell the board what it is that is causing you to have to be here? What is it that,
Yeah, so the main reason for this is I went back and forth with the architect to see if we could get this minimized. But in order to screen the mechanical equipment on top of the building, we could not get it down any further than this. So just wanted to see if we could raise it a little bit as 1 and 1 inch, 1/2 inch, 1 foot. So just wanted to see if that's something we could get approved here today, so.
okay?
And just so the board knows, obviously the staff likes to see all mechanical screened if possible. So it just makes a more aesthetic looking building and area for that matter. So as you'll see in our staff findings, we have no problem with the variance.
And just a side note, we had submitted a couple different elevation drawings, and that mechanical equipment will be below that top level of the raised parapet wall. So just want to make sure that.
All right, thank you. Okay, do you have a copy of your findings of fact?
Yeah.
If you'll go ahead and read those into the record for us.
The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. This total building height of 46 feet, 1 1/2 inch over the maximum allowable building height of 45 feet for the commercial C2 district will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property, including the variance, will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. This adjacent zoning to this project have similar zoning of C1 and C2 with similar, if not the same use of that of a hotel, with building heights that exceed the maximum building height of 45 feet. This variance will not affect the use of the value of the area adjacent to the property in a substantially adverse manner. The strict application of the terms of this zoning ordinance will result in a practical difficulty. This situation shall not be self-imposed nor be based on a perceived reduction or restriction of the economic gain. This specific variance request will allow the building and/or parapet wall height to increase by 1 foot, 1/2 inch. Was not the result of a practical difficulty. The strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance was based on the reduction of or restriction of economic gain, but rather the ability to obstruct the view of mechanical equipment on the roof of the proposed structure, in essence creating a better visual appearance of the surrounding neighborhood and community.
All right, thank you. Mr. Sheehan, you want to read the staff findings?
Yeah, staff findings for the approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. Additional 1 foot, 1.5 inch in height will not cause injury to the general welfare of the community. The height will not block traffic, use, or impede on any property lines or easements. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property, including the variance, will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Granting this variance will allow the petitioner to build a 4-story hotel. This development fits in well with the other hotels in the area, as well as other commercial properties in the area. The additional height will allow the petitioner to screen mechanical equipment on the roof and give the building a clean, finished aesthetic. The strict application of terms of this zoning ordinance will result in a practical difficulty. This situation shall not be self-imposed, nor be based on a perceived reduction of or restriction of economic gain. If the variance is not granted, the petitioner will be unable to screen their mechanical equipment on the roof. Exposed mechanical equipment on a roof is aesthetically displeasing and takes away from the clean, modern look the petitioner is seeking for their 4-story hotel.
All right, thank you. So we've heard the staff findings and petitioner findings. Are there any questions from the board at this time?
Yes, I have. Sir, according to the drawing, it looks like there's a building on that property already.
There
Is
is,
that
yes.
correct?
That is correct. That building will be demolished and brought down. And that portion of the site, that is lot 16, will be used as a revamped and used as the parking lot for the structure that would be constructed on lot 25, which will be the hotel.
What kind of hotel is this going to be?
This will be a home to suites hotel by Hilton. It's one of their many options that they have amongst their selection of standard hotels that they do around the United States.
So we have a copy of the rendering.
Correct.
Is this facing the west or the south?
That will be facing that the face that will be entrance will be facing the west towards Clinton.
Okay, so the existing building where you're saying parking will that be
That'll
behind
be-
the building or just to the
The existing that will be taken down, it sits approximately, the back of the existing structure sits about probably 20 to 30 feet to the west of that new proposed structure, yeah.
Okay,
Just to give you, the building that is there is the old Ultimate place to be. So that's what's being demoed for this potential project.
I was just trying to
Yep.
picture where that, so the parking, most of the parking will, there'll be some
The
in
ma-
front and
the
some in-
majority will be on the west portion facing
Okay.
Clinton, and there will be partial, there's a few, probably 20 spots on the east side as well.
Okay, good deal. All right, any other questions from the board at this time? Is there anyone in the audience wishing to be heard regarding this case? Anything you'd like to add at this point?
Just one of the items that we've been working with Jessica on is we've already went through and had to get a sidewalk easement because of the configuration of Cartwright, and the way it was constructed wasn't technically centered, so we had to get a sidewalk easement, and we've been and gotten that recorded as well through the county. So that's just something that will be constructed on our property, but we've gone through the avenues that need to be, so through the county to have that approved.
All right, thank you. Anything else? Hearing nothing else, we do have a motion and a second for the approval of case P01-V-22. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right,
All right,
congratulations.
thank you very much.
All righty. Our next case before the board this evening is case P02-V-22.
Yes, petitioner Sam Chandra requested a variance of 10 feet 5 inches to section 3.32 maximum structure height in a C2 zone. This is at 5148 Cartwright Drive.
I have a motion on this case.
I move that we approve case number P02-V-22 and adopt the findings of the petitioner as those of the board and make those findings part of the record.
Second.
All right, thank you both. Have any board members had any ex parte communication on this case?
No, sir.
None down there?
Same as before. Dr. the Ritz, or he told me about this. That's all he was telling me.
Okay. All right, is that it? All right, thank you all. If you'd state your name and address for the record.
Wyatt Johnson, 555 Market Road, and I'm representing Mr. Chaudhry. This is a vacant piece of land. It's on the west side of Cartwright. It's kind of like catty-cornered to the previous case, to the southeast. This would be a Fairfield Inn, and we've designed it to fit on 3 acres. That leaves, he bought 3 acres from Vidito, so that leaves another 3 acres, and his vision is to build a similar hotel on that other 3 acres, but that's not been designed yet by the architect. We have designed the site to accommodate that. The stormwater management system will accommodate both developments, assuming that he does what his vision is. I think that's all I've got right now.
So this, the east side of Cartwright, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
And it will face north, and the other hotel that is in his vision would face south, so they'd kind of create a courtyard between them.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm checking on that.
Got it.
Yeah, I think so.
He said
Kinda.
this hotel is going to sit on the 2 lots that are marked here on this lot.
I haven't seen that.
Facing each other.
I think,
And the hotel
Not
won't
a new
face which
hotel.
direction?
Well, those two together make 6 acres. It'll be,
Only one hotel we're discussing tonight.
right, yeah, I
Not
shouldn't
discussing
even,
the second one, that's down the road.
so
oh,
this,
sometimes I talk too much and confuse things.
you're fine. So this hotel you're saying will face north,
Right,
and the
it-
vision is sometime later to have one looking,
Right, and it will back up to the fire station right there.
Correct. The new fire station off of Center Road.
You say it will, meaning the case tonight.
Yes.
Okay.
I guess I'm confused then, because we're,
So,
On
so,
this-
here's where we're talking tonight.
that
Right.
backs up to the fire station.
Yeah, here's the.
So that's the one we're talking about now, this lot here?
Right.
And in the future, you're gonna build another one on this area?
Well, he owns both parcels.
Yep.
Part of the drainage is on the northern parcel. Because there's kind of a
coming in
low,
because
a low
that
area that
baseball,
goes through here. So the stormwater management area is in that low area.
and it's kind of, coming off
Yeah.
that Grand Park
So-
thing.
And believe it or not,
The plan commission for development plan review was the entire 6 acres.
but they beat
Only
for a
one building.
big tournaments and they've been turned down before because we didn't
Yes,
have enough.
because we went ahead and approved the drainage for both lots, but they just approved the site plan
Last year
for
when the
that
pros
one
came,
building
they had
at this
their
point in time.
motorhomes
So if I
sat
understood
beside
right, the hotel, the back of the hotel will face the fire station?
Right.
Oh,
Okay.
it was a senior tour.
Correct.
That's what I was,
Yes,
actually wanted to find the facts.
All right. Okay, so if you want to go through your findings of fact there?
The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. There is no evidence that a building in this location taller than the standard would be injurious to the public health and safety, moral, or general welfare of the community. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. A building taller than the standard should have no bearing on the value of adjacent properties. The strict application of the terms of this zoning ordinance will result in a practical difficulty. This situation shall not be self-imposed, nor be based on a perceived reduction or restriction of economic gain. To operate this facility efficiently, the operator needs to construct and operate a 4-story building. A smaller building would create a practical difficulty that is not self-imposed.
Okay, thank you. How would the parking be broken up? Like on the north, on the south?
It's kind of hard to explain. There's going to be a drive coming in off of Cartwright in line with Kentucky.
Okay,
And then as you go east, there will be a parking lot between the building and Cartwright. And there will be parking in front of the building, to the north of the building. And then there'll be twice as many spaces on the east side of the building as there is on the west side of the building.
okay.
and I don't know, I can't remember, it was 2 or 3 years ago, I can't remember if that hotel came before this board for any variances, but Mr. Chandra's already built one hotel here.
The Holiday Inn
He built the
Express,
Holiday Inn Express on Cartwright Drive, so.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
down at the north end of the
Correct.
subdivision.
Kentucky
And we
here,
did get a
yes.
variance for height on that one as well.
Okay. I thought he came before this board. That's been 2 or 3 years ago, probably.
2 years, 2 years.
Um,
He's also asking for a sign height
Yeah.
variance.
Yep.
What kind of, I know this doesn't impact the height, but what kind of barrier is there between the homeowner, or the residences to the east and this property?
The zoning ordinance requires quite a bit of plant material in there. So there's not any fencing, but there are a lot of evergreen trees and shade trees along that boundary. One roughly every 25 feet.
Okay.
And there's a pretty good distance between all of the parking and that eastern property line.
And just so you all know, that's all been approved already through the plan commission, so.
Sure.
We talked about all that last month.
Yeah,
last
and
month.
as far as landscaping, to me, it's odd anyway. There's a grid where you talk about how your property is zoned, and then over here, how other properties are zoned, and then the matrix where you intersect tells you what your planting, your buffer yard requirements are. So adjoining the fire department, the buffer yards are the highest of any other adjoining property. and adjoining the gas station, because they're both Zone C2, there's no buffer yard requirement between the gas station. But there is a buffer yard requirement between the residential and this building.
Good deal. Well, thank you for answering that, and if you, have you read your findings? Mr. Sheehan?
The approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, and general welfare of the community. The variance requested will not create any safety hazards or vision clearance problems. The requested variance will not allow the petitioner to impede on any property lines or easements. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property, including the variance, will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. Granting this variance for additional building height will not negatively impact surrounding properties. The variance will allow the petitioner to build a 4-story hotel, a fitting and compatible addition to the area. This will also infill a currently vacant and unused lot with a new and useful commercial building. The strict application of the terms of this zoning ordinance will result in a practical difficulty. This situation shall not be self-imposed, nor be based on a perceived reduction of or restriction of economic gain. If the variance is not granted, the petitioner's created plans for a 4-story hotel will be unusable, and the petitioner will be unable to utilize his property as he desires.
All right, thank you. We've heard the petitioner's findings, the staff findings. Are there any questions from the board at this time? Is there anyone in the audience who would like to be heard regarding this case? Mr. Johnson, anything you'd like to add?
Nope, don't believe so.
All right, we do have a motion and a second for the approval of case P02-V-22. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any other business to be brought before the Kokomo City Board of Zoning Appeals this evening?
I have no good business tonight, Mr. President.
Any board members?
Yeah, thank you.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to oppose that. All right.
Thank you.
Happy New Year, everyone. Thank you all.
Everybody.